Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the Teenage Engineering Stim Player. We're going to go over all the basic functions, the advanced functions, and my workflow of how I like to make loops with it. But before we get started, there's a few different ways you can help support this channel. Besides joining my Patreon and checking out my Twitch streams, if you hit that affiliate link below, I don't get paid for that, but I get a taste of the action. And actually, the best way to support the channel is that I'm a professional circus artist. I'm a juggler, and I perform shows for a living. So if you want to hire me to come juggle for you, that's the best way to ensure that we keep reviews like this here on the channel. And with that, let's get started. So we have to start with the size of this device. And I know you've seen it all over social media. You've seen pictures, you've seen videos. In fact, right here on this channel, you've seen a video before of this device. And I get it. You go, yeah, I know how big it is. I can see it. It looks small. I mean, especially like, do you remember when Ye's personal chef leaked images of this online in 2019? People were going nuts. And you go, yeah, I get it. It's that big. It's tiny, right? It's small. And if we compare it to the Kano stim player right here, it's about the same size, right? It's roughly as tall. Here we can see that the surface area, of course, the circles sticking out on the sides there, as circles do. It's about as tall. If we look from the side, you can see that the Kano stim player, it's a little bit taller, but more or less, right? Like they're both small. We get it. Like intellectually, you go, yeah, they're small devices. It's cool. I understand what we're talking about. But then, if we go ahead and compare it to the Teenage Engineering TX6, we see that it is just ridiculously small. I mean, the TX6, it's famous for being already too small, right? Like that's the thing people are all Zoolander, oh, it's a mixer for ants. Hilarious comment, it's too small, make it twice as big, it would still be too small, blah, blah, blah. But look at this. If we put the stim player over top of the TX6, it's just dumb. It's just dumb how small it is. It's just tiny. And again, intellectually, you can get it. You can see this image and be like, man, that's a lot smaller than the TX6. But it's just really hard to emotionally express how small this is. I mean, there's another part of it too, where it's like, you got the same buttons, right? And the same sliders here, like the same exact physical size of the buttons here that you have over here. And then the sliders are the same. The throw distance is different, but you can see that it's kind of the same. It's the same part, right? And so, you know, before I had my stim player here from Teenage Engineering, I was like, oh yeah, it's a small device. I get it. But then somehow in your head, because it's got some of the same parts, like before it arrives, you're like, yeah, it's going to be as big as the TX6 because the TX6 is really small. And when it arrived, it's just crazy how small it is. I cannot tell you how it feels. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And look, even in terms of the thickness, we have like the thickness between the two. Obviously, like the stim player is just so much thinner. And especially if you compare it even to the Kano stim player, like Kano stim player is like way thicker than the TX6 even. Like even if you stack those up, I'd say like that's a good metric right there. This is gonna blow up the internet for sure right here. Like check it out. You got the thickness of the TX6 plus the thickness of the stim player from Teenage Engineering, and it's still thinner than the Kano stim player. So we can get rid of this for now. And now that we've done a size comparison and you understand a little bit better about exactly how small this is, I'd like to talk a little bit about the origins of this device and what we know about it so far. So let's get going. All right, now, a lot of people think that the collaboration between Teenage Engineering and Ye, that it was a failed venture, that this product right here, because it didn't release publicly, that somehow behind the scenes, Teenage Engineering somehow parted ways with Ye, of course, with all the controversy going on, and that because this product was then scrapped, that this was then developed into the TX6. So the narrative generally is that, okay, Teenage Engineering starts with a stem player, collab with Ye, that goes south, so let's throw this hardware out, but then we can, wait a second, we can repurpose the, R&D on this device and turn it into this device. But by all accounts, from what I've figured out from looking online and talking to people and just making a general timeline of events, first of all, Ye wanted to have a stem player all the way back in the Yeezus era. He wanted to have a stem player for the Yeezus album, actually. So he's been trying to make a stem player since then, and that's, what is that, like 2013, 2012? You got Google, I don't have to know the date, but it's over 10 years ago, right? And so the other thing is that the TX6, as far as I can tell, the timeline for developing this unit far predates this, the first appearance of the stem player that we've seen online, or even rumors about it with Teenage Engineering, back in 2018. And a good source for that is the Superbooth 2023. There's a interview with Jesper and the team of Teenage Engineering, and they give a little bit of an insight into their field series. And yeah, the TX6, I think this started years before the stem player was ever, begun, like production or research or engineering on that. So what I think happened probably, and we'll never know, right? Like, everybody's under NDAs and this is all pure speculation. But as far as I can tell, it's probably that, Virgil Abloh started hanging out with TE. And for sure it was through Virgil that he hooked Ye up with Teenage Engineering. And they started talking. And like I say, Ye's wanted to have a stem player since Yeezus. So starts talking to TE, and at the same time, TE is making this TX6. So they're like, hey, it's the other way around than the normal narrative, right? Like, TX6 inspired the stem player. And so they're like, oh, hey, we can take some of those same hardware components, the buttons, the sliders, whatnot. And I don't know, that's pure speculation, but that's what I think happened. And then they made the stem player. And that was actually supposed to release to the public. In fact, it was even uploaded onto the back end of KanyeWest.com with a price tag of $200, which is what, the Kano stem player eventually ended up selling for as well. And of course, that could just be a placeholder, right? Like, somebody uploads it on the back end of KanyeWest.com. That doesn't really mean anything in terms of reality. But there's been a lot of speculation that if the Teenage Engineering stem player did release, it would cost at least $300, $400 because of the Teenage Engineering prices. But I don't think so. I think this was going to release. I think it was going to be sold on KanyeWest.com for $200. And I just found out yesterday there was a little bit of a story, some speculation that basically at the same time Ye was developing the Teenage Engineering stem player, he was also developing the Kano stem player basically behind the backs of Teenage Engineering. And again, I don't know. I don't work for any of these companies. I didn't sign any NDAs. I have no idea what's going on. But from what I can tell, that seems like that could be a likely scenario. That at the same time, he started off developing this unit with TE. Then he started hanging out with Alex from Kano. They became good friends. And then he started, he was just hyped on stem player stuff. And then Kano started developing this. And yeah, the theory I was hearing yesterday was that basically, Ye dropped this one, kind of surprised TE. Who knows what happened, right? I guess they know. Jesper was hanging out in Wyoming with Ye on the ranch. But Alex is credited on Jesus is King with, writing, some writing credits. So it's I could totally see that happening. Everything was so chaotic back then around the Wyoming era. Definitely manic. You've seen the fight with Chance the Rapper and all these other things going on. So that's a plausible scenario, I guess, that Ye developed this behind the backs of TE, or maybe not even behind the backs. Everything's just so chaotic, right? That it's just hey, I want stem player, Teenage Engineering, Virgil Abloh, cool, Sweden, all good, And at the same time, he meets Alex, and it's just yo, Alex is cool. We're gonna hang out and write the song Water together. or whatever. Oh yeah, you make computers, cool. I want a stem player. We're working on a stem player with TE. And then Alex, whatever happens. And then this ends up releasing. And yeah, I mean, obviously at the end of the day, personally, I like the design of the Teenage Engineering one much better. Like, again, I just want to say, like, I like the Kano one. It's cool. It's a really cool device. Like, compare this to other products that you buy, like other tech. It's cool. It's nice. Especially like for releasing an album. I think that's super clever. Like, what a fun release. Like, you get, like, a lot of people were complaining, right? Like, oh man, $200 for a Ye album on the Kano stem player. But like, look at all these deluxe box sets from different bands. And it's just like mostly vinyl records, which is cool. Like, vinyl's all good. But like, this is such a fun, unique device and like such a fun way to, consume music. And also this, you can load other tracks on here. So that was like a cool, you're not just, sandboxed into the Ye music on this device. So of course, because the Teenage Engineering device never shipped publicly, the only music on this right now is just the Jesus is King album. And there's no way right now to upload your own tracks to here. Personally, I don't have a problem with that. Like, it's so much fun. You'll see when we go over the functions here, like, it's so much fun remixing music on this that like, I don't even care that I can't upload other tracks on this yet. I mean, maybe I'll get there at some point where I'm like sick of it, but I don't know. I just think it's awesome. And like, what a fun thing to have. Like, even if it's just Jesus is King, it's such a cool, novel way to release an album. It's just so unique. And I mean, come on, it's a collab with Teenage Engineering. Like, it doesn't get cooler than that right now. And like, this design is just amazing. All right, let's keep going with some more details. All right, a few more details about the player. So as far as I can tell, I can confirm. As far as I can tell, like from what I consider to be trusted sources, there's 400 units of this. I mean, there could be more. Obviously, there could be any number of these. I have no idea. But from what I've heard from multiple sources and sources that I trust, I know there's 400 units total. So there was 200 that were given away, apparently, or supposed to be given away, friends and family. So basically, like, 200 of these were made, packaged up for Ye to just give out, like, again, to like his personal chef and his friends and family. And as far as I can tell, then the packaging for that, which was again this release for Jesus is King, the Jesus is King album, it came in a blue box that was in a plain cardboard box with the printing on the front. And sometimes those friends and family units can be found in a kind of plastic like bubble wrap with with like a sticker, right, with like a barcode. And then on the sticker it says like Teenage Engineering stem player prototype 2. And then there's like an FCC warning, like not for sale, like this is just a sample or something like that, like not for resale or whatever. That it wasn't like cleared by FCC regulations to be sold commercially yet. Like as a sample unit. And who knows, right? Like those could have been prototypes for the friends and family release that were eventually boxed up into this, blue kind of velour, almost like velvet, fuzzy, covered box. Came bundled with a USB cable. And on the units that were found without the blue box, with the prototype 2, in the plastic wrapping, they came bundled with a black USB cord. We'll get into the USB cords next here, but that was the first friends and family release of like 200 units. And then recently, like a year ago, there was 200 more units found in a warehouse in LA that weren't in any boxes. They just came bundled with white USB cables. That's the one I got here. And to be honest, I thought there would be a lot more units on the secondhand market, like a lot more resale action on these in terms of like those units flooding the market. But like they remain pretty rare. I just searched online last night. There's, if you want to buy one, there's 3 for sale online right now. Like there's no way I'm going to tell you where they are. You just got to Google around a little bit and, dig into the community, get involved. I don't really want to say where you can buy it right now because once again, like you can just Google it and find it if you know what you're doing. And I don't know. I don't really want to support some of these secondhand prices that they're trying to flip these for. And yeah, I just don't want to like mess up the market. Like I don't want to pump up the market with people being like, oh man, I bought mine for $3,000. Well, let's see what happens. I don't think that's going to happen, but if you want one, you can find it, but you got to be careful too. So like, make sure you can try to get one of those ones that were found in the warehouse last year. Because a lot of the original friends and family ones that went for sale, which there was only like a handful, like maybe 5 or something, they've been changing hands, flipping back and forth online for like, 2 years now. And they're just getting just like more and more busted with each person who gets one and then tries to flip it again for more money. So you got to be careful. Like a lot of those initial friends and family units, they're just like not functional, or they're at least not fully functional. So if you want to try to get one, really try to make sure you get one from the warehouse from last year. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it's super nice. Like it's really cool. There's kind of a funny story in terms of like documentation of this unit, like in terms of the user guide. So it came with like a cartoon hand-drawn paper, in terms of like describing how to like use all the functions of the unit, like isolate the stems and apply the effects and all that stuff. And so like for years, basically it was just like a photo of that, on Reddit that people were like looking at in terms of of like how to use this like for a user manual. And that paper shipped with like the friends and family units, but there had never been a photo of the back of the paper. And on the back of the paper, it was clear from the front of the paper, there was some writing, and everybody was thinking that it was the back of the paper was like the holy grail, because it was going to tell you how to load your own song, your own music onto this. But yeah, so like last night I just found the back of the paper again, just with a Google image search. If you search deep enough, long enough, and it's just basically the Bluetooth instructions of how to pair this with a Bluetooth device. It's nothing at all about, loading your own music on here. But that would have been a cool find even like a couple years ago in terms of the Bluetooth functionality, because that wasn't known until recently. And that's because I had the craziest thing happen, which was I got a letter to my house here, like a paper letter, not an email. I got a piece of paper and an envelope with a stamp delivered to my door through the post office. And there was no return address, there was no name, no sender. And I opened it up and it was an instruction manual printed out for this device. Super wild. I mean, think about that for a second. It's 2024. First of all, when was the last time you got a piece of mail that wasn't like a bill or like whatever advertisement, you know what I mean? So like, that's weird. Second of all, then like, it's an anonymous letter, no sender. Like, that's weird, because also like, who would have your address? And then, third of all, yeah, exactly that. Like, who has your address and who knows that you have this device? And more significantly, who would have that user manual to even send it to me? So as far as I can tell, the only people that had my address to ship here would be Teenage Engineering, because I buy their products. So they had my address. And that would also make sense that Teenage Engineering employees would have the instruction manual for this. And so, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, whoever sent me this, if you're at TE or wherever you are, but just to say like, that was so cool and so weird and awesome. And like, I really appreciated it. So, thanks for, taking the extra effort and going behind the scenes. 'Cause like, yeah, man, like the information on this project is just going to be lost in time, right? Like, we're never going to know the true story of this device. We're never going to know why it didn't publicly release. We're never going to know like why this product came out instead of this product. I mean, somebody knows what we don't know, and we're not going to know, and you don't know, and I don't know. But that was so cool that I got that paper about this device, and I'm going to use that paper actually here in a second to go over all the functions so we don't miss any of the hidden features, because there's a lot in here. And the other thing is, there was a PDF that surfaced online, and that was also super crazy, because in the corner of the PDF, it said Stim Player Prototype 2 Christmas Edition. And it was like a basic functionality, like user's guide. That was all kind of like more TE design, like their regular kind of design language of their other user guides. It wasn't like this cartoon hand drawing stuff that by the way, you know, Kano eventually shipped with their player. And in the other corner of the paper, the PDF, it said the name was Teenage Engineering KE, right? So we got like TX6, TP7, you know, OB4 right here, OP1, OPZ. So I guess this is the KE. So this is the TE-KE right here. That's what they referred to it on that paper. That's pretty cool. And again, it was like a Christmas edition. Like it was a PDF that was going to ship with like, I mean, I guess a Christmas edition, you know? So maybe it would come preloaded with Christmas songs. I don't know. How cool would that be? And recently Jesper gave a talk at some tech conference, and behind him, he showed on the screen like a bunch of like unreleased, like photos of unreleased stuff. And one of the photos was actually a Teenage Engineering Stim player that was like poking out of like a silver, like shiny silver cardboard box. And again, like for sure it's just coincidence, but like maybe that was the Christmas edition that would come in a shiny silver cardboard box. That'd be amazing. So yeah, who knows what was meant to be with this device and what the plans were, and who knows like the true connection between this and the TX6. But yeah, that's as much as I managed to dig up so far, which is pretty cool. So all that being said, now we know a little bit about the history, the evolution, and the context of this device. So I think we can just jump in and start looking at the main functionality. Here we go. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the hardware of this unit. You got a play pause button here. You got a hold function here, and that's also like a power button. There's LEDs here on the side, which is almost like a level meter when it's playing. Also Bluetooth connection status. There's a tiny hole here, if you can see. There's also one on the other side. That could be for the speakers, because this has an internal speaker. I have no idea. The speaker sounds amazing, by the way. Obviously, this you would think is the speaker there too. You have a plus minus switch here on the top. You got a rocker here on the side that has different functions in terms of forwards, reverse, slow down, fast forward, rewind, skip track, next track, last track, whatever. Then you got, of course, your sliders here, and you got these buttons that solo or mute tracks. They also select effects. They also select tracks. And then here on the bottom of the unit, you got, first of all here, this is for pocket operator sync, or also MIDI sync. This is your line out headphone jack. And this is USB-C for charging. Besides headphone out, this also has Bluetooth. We'll look at that a little bit later. So for the purposes of the demonstrations right now, I'm just going to use line out, and we'll look at the Bluetooth in a little bit. So I'm just going to line out here from the KE, and we'll line into the OB4 here. Set it to line. And like I said before, it's got USB-C there for charging. So here's a detailed look at the USB-C to USB-A cable that came with at least the ones that were found in the warehouse in LA last year. Like I say, I saw the friends and family, the ones that weren't in the box, and those could just be the prototype, proofs for the friends and family run. I have no idea, but they ship with black cables that actually had the TE branding on it, much like the black cables for the choir. If you have the choir dolls, they ship with black USB-C to USB-A. We'll look at that in a second. But I love this cable. It's so cool. Like I love the TE. Like I really love the TE cables. I use their cables on all my live sets, like all my touring, like all the audio cables and USB cables. But I love this design feature right here, this round into the square, like the cylinder into the block there. And what I really like about the cable is it's unbranded, because this is the same shape that they're using on their other product, USB-A to C cables. but they got the TE logo on it. And I hate branding. This is just so nice. I love this cable so much. I wish it was a little bit longer. It's pretty small, but yeah, I'm so glad it came with the cable. And I love this. I love the design of this. It's just amazing. It's really nice. So let's take a look at again, you have the Teenage Engineering Choir cable. You can see you got the branding on both the USB-A side and the USB-C side, of course. But same design, right? Like that cylinder going down into the block there. And you got the black version. And then you got the normal version, the gray version that ships with everything else except for the dolls, the Choir. Again, with the yellow TE branding logo on there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it's great that this one shipped with this just all white, like super clean, a little bit cream colored. Yeah, it's just beautiful. It's so nice in person if you see it. And again, I think the other ones I saw online were shipping with this, but the logo, the TE logo, was about twice as big, almost, like really obnoxiously big. So this has been refined a little bit for the Choir release or whatever. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? They're all prototypes. Who knows? Like what's the actual release or the design process? I have no idea. But now that we know about the USB cable, the charging, you take the hold function button or the power button here and you press it to turn it on. I just want to say one little note about the mechanics of this device. Like I said, I got huge hands, right? Like they're really, really, really ridiculously big, especially compared to this unit. And so I saw some people operating this one-handed, like with the left hand somehow, that like the fingers here, got the buttons on this side, you got the rocker here for your thumb. If your thumb actually, like I have to hold it out here for my thumb to touch it. But I saw some people trying to, like, some people operate it like this. I've also seen like on those cartoon, the cartoon manual, that this is also how they were like kind of like pretending that you would use it. And then you could have your finger up here for these plus and minus buttons and whatever. I can't do that. It doesn't work. In fact, it doesn't even work for me to hold it like this and operate it like upright. So the way I found the best thing to do is just turn it sideways. Like just turning it on is just a great example. It's like you have like the power button down here. So you need to do an opposing press, right? To push that button in, because especially it's not just a little like, moment of like pressing it. You have to hold it in so it turns on. So I just hold everything sideways. I got the rocker here with this index finger, my thumb down here on the play button, and then I can also use that index finger for plus minus, and I have my left thumb for the control of all these buttons. So I use it in a landscape mode instead of like a portrait mode. So I don't know if that's just because I have like really big hands, or like if that's just the way you have to do it with this unit because it's just so tiny. I don't know how else you're supposed to kind of physically maneuver it to get all these button presses, combos to happen. But so just to let you know, I'm going to use it in landscape mode today, but maybe if you get your own, you want to try it in portrait mode. So to turn it on, you're going to do the whole power button down here, and you see you get the flash of the LEDs across the top. You got the LEDs on the side letting you know it's turned on. Now, so I'm going to follow along on this user manual that was like anonymously sent to me. We'll just do this in real time. I haven't rehearsed this, but let's see how it goes. To turn the device off, it's the same press as that. You hold it for a couple seconds. LEDs flash, these LEDs go away. Now it's turned off. So we turn it back on. There's 4 modes available. The first mode is the basic mode. Number 2 is the advanced mode. Number 3 is the advanced mode with Pocket Operator Sync output enabled from this other mini jack here. And then the 4th mode is an advanced mode with MIDI clock output enabled. Again, I'm assuming it's from the same line. I'm not going to test the MIDI out today. I seriously doubt if it has Bluetooth MIDI out. But if we get enough subscribers to this live stream right here, then maybe we can do a MIDI out tutorial coming up. So make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell. to switch the mode, the device should be turned on and not playing. So let's just see what it sounds like before switching anything out. So there, of course, I can adjust the volume with the OB4, but I can also plus minus the volume here. All right, now I got my copyright strike on this video, so I can't monetize it. So we're probably not going to do that MIDI out tutorial after all. But let's see what the internal speaker sounds like. Man, that is so loud. Can you tell that's loud? There's the volume control range. There. Yeah, and so that's funny, like when you do the stop, it's like a little tape stop effect. Tape stop in and out, right? So like when it starts up, there's a little tape sound. Yeah. All right, we'll do another line out. But yeah, I don't know, like the speakers on the Pocket operators are also just amazing, right? Like those speakers behind that little LCD screen. But man, this is crazy loud. I don't know if you can tell, however, where you're watching this, but like, it's just ridiculously loud for how small it is. It's really cool. And it sounds good too. Like it's not obviously like not the greatest thing you've ever heard in terms of quality, but like it is not, it doesn't sound bad. Like when you experience this in person, like emotionally, like the size and just like the functionality, again, with the speaker and just like how loud it is, you're just like, wow, this is crazy. It's crazy, crazy nice. All right, so we're gonna switch the modes now. The device is turned on, it's not playing. Hold the function and play for a couple of seconds. And these 4 LEDs will start to flash, which indicate, you can select a mode. Then you press the plus and minus to select the mode, or you can also use the track buttons to select the mode, and then you press play to confirm. So right now it's in, I think, mode number 2. So I'm just gonna switch back to mode number 1 to see the basic mode and the basic functions. So we'll hold the function, the hold and the play. We'll do that for a couple of seconds. It also said you can't be playing, so let's see how that works. Oh, there we go. And is it? There we go. And now it's blinking. So you can see it's 2 because I'm in mode 2, which is advanced mode. So let's use the plus minus buttons up here. Oh, what happened? Did I already mess it up? I missed my chance. It was like, okay, wait. We have to set it again to select. And now I'll press minus, and then I'll press play to confirm. So now we're in basic mode. All right, let's look at what basic mode does. So we have basic mode, we got play to play and pause. Right, cool. Then again, plus minus for volume. Then there's the faders here for the individual stems. And then you use the rocker to just skip back and forth on the tracks, like on the playlist. That's the next song, beginning of that same song, and then back a song, right? And that functionality of that rocker, it changes a little bit when you get to advanced mode. All right, so then we're gonna do the play button. If you hold the play button in basic mode, it's gonna loop for 1 bar. So then I'm holding play. And you can see the flashing LEDs on the side to indicate that we're in loop for 1 bar. As again, you have the flashing here on the front to indicate we're doing a 1 bar loop. And now I let go, so it's just gonna start playing. There's my second copyright strike. All right, then if you use the function here on the left and the play on the right, it'll toggle slow motion playback. So let's try that. I'm gonna hold this down and press play. So now I'm playing slower in basic mode. In advanced mode, you can do a lot more with this. And I can toggle that back to regular playback. And besides using the sliders to control, you know, the relative volume, you can also just use the buttons here to solo. Wait, nothing else next though. Not another word, let a picture or a decimal. Wrestling with God, I don't really want to rest. So man, it's really lifelike. Everything in my life. Arguing with my dad and he said it ain't Christ-like. You know, it's like. So one thing I found in general with the unit, which is really cool, is that just because you use one button for one function, it doesn't stop you from using the other buttons for another function at the same time. So right there, you know, like you can solo a track, but like at the same time you have one track soloed, you can also, you know, unmute another track, and then it just becomes like you can solo several tracks at the same time in combination, depending on how you press the buttons. I think that's super nice. It's a really cool function there. Then once you're playing the function here, if I press this function button, and then I press the track buttons here, that's going to activate the audio effect on the corresponding stem, but there's only the gate effect used in basic mode. So in advanced mode, you get 4 different effects, and of those 4 different effects, you get 4 different types of that effect. But in basic mode, we're only using the gate mode, and we're only using one type of gate. So let's see how that sounds. So we're gonna play. I'm gonna do function here. Let's gate the gate in the vocals. Yeah, so you can hear that there, the gate on the scream. So that's basic mode, and like that's how it shipped. Like when it came, right? Like it was in basic mode, and I was like, oh, that's kind of like, it's cool. Like I love the design, but like playing with it, I was like, that's kind of like not the most fun. Or like it is whatever, but just like the effects, right? Like just that one gate effect and the one style of gate, it's pretty limited. Besides like, you know, muting and like leveling your stems, which is like the primary function of the device. But like in terms of other functions, in terms of like, you know, you just have that toggle of one setting of speed going forward, like slow motion going forward. But you'll see in the advanced mode, you have a lot more granular control over speed, both forwards and backwards. Let's see if we can loop a 1 bar in basic mode while doing a slow speed. Yeah. And we can solo during that. That's what I say. Like I love, even in the basic mode, you can like stack all the functions at the same time. I think that's really cool. Of course, that's also the same as on the Kano stem player. You can stack a lot of those functions. I think that's like a really nice feature. All right, let's get into the advanced mode functionality. So, all right, click shortly on the function button to enter. Oh yeah, check this out. So I'm gonna, again, hold function and play. Come on. You have to slightly do function before play. And now I'm in mode select. I do the plus for mode 2, play to confirm. All right, now we're in advanced mode. So the first thing you want to know is that if you click shortly on the function button, you enter the track selection. So if I click on that function button, you can see that all 4 LEDs light up. So then you can just pick a stem. What was it? Is there a vocal there? Let's see. Active track. Okay, then press the tracks button and select active track. So I go here and all right. So, okay, learn something new every day. You got to be playing for it to select the active track. So I can go like this without it playing, and it can let me select the track. When I select it, nothing happens. But if you're playing, check it out. Already there, you can see the LED is brighter. That's the selected track. So here I'm in track select. And now I picked the stem as my main track. So what's that about? That means that the selected track you're on, you can stack an effect there and you can lock it in place. Then you could select a different track and put a different effect on that next stem. So effects can be locked basically to each stem. And so this is the method by which you choose which stem you're going to use your effects on. So it's really cool. Yeah. Oh, okay. So let's do this. Yeah. The other LEDs, when the selected track LED is lit up, it's a solid light. The other tracks show the VU meter intensity. So let's check that out. Yeah, you can see here, like these are blinking. When you get daughters, always keep them safe. Watch out for fight. And that's the VU meter, like intensity of that track. So there's like nothing playing on this stem. Now there is. Train them in the faith through temptations. Make sure and here on the side, you have the global VU meter. Listen and obey. No more living for. All right, so now I've selected my track. I can do, if I hold the function in the track, I activate the effect on that track. So the thing is, each of these buttons, track buttons, become an effect. And let's see if we can figure out what those are. Yeah, here we go. The effects are, you got your filter up here on top. You got a chorus delay second, a distortion third, and then a gate last. And for each of those effects, you have 4 versions of those effects. And so just because I've selected this bottom track, right, in my track selection, I don't have to press the corresponding track button to make an effect there. I can do any of these 4 buttons and the effect is going to go to that track. So let's check it out. Culture, we nobody's slave. Stand up for my home. So there's a filter. Even if I take the spot. There's your gate. Distortion. And that's the chorus delay. But again, those are the first version. That's the first version of any of those effects. So let's go and hold the, if I hold the function button, this is where it gets like all tricky in terms of like manually manipulating this unit. If you hold the function button and I press this top effect right here, like the first track button that turns into the filter effect, then I have to press the plus or minus buttons to cycle through the 4 different versions of that filter that's available. And those will be indicated by the LEDs again here. So let's check that out. So I'm gonna select my track, my vocals. I hold that down and then I can, that's the first version, second, third, fourth. So let's use the 4th version of the filter. And it sounds like, and if I keep holding the track button, the effect still goes. And if I click the function, it will lock it. There. And now the song's done. Yeah, so that's like the whole workflow on effects, right? So it just gets a little bit fiddly in terms of like button combos, because the thing is just so small. It's too small. What is this, a stem player for ants? But yeah, you hold down function, select your effect. Oh, now I did track again. Let's check it out. Then you do your effect, plus or minus which version of the effect you want. Keep holding down that track button and then let go of the function and click it again. It'll lock it in. Let's see how that looks. All right. And you can hear that filter still locked there. Let's put a gate. So now that gate's locked to vocals. So we can select a different track. Select this track. Let's put distortion on there. There we go. All right, so that's how you lock different effects to different stems. And the thing is, you can't layer effects on the same stem. So let's say I got like the filter locked to the vocal stem here on the bottom. I can't go ahead and like layer distortion on top. Even though it's locked with filter, if I go ahead and like throw the distortion on there, it'll be locked. I can lock it with distortion. It would like overwrite the filter setting there. So, okay, then if chorus delay is selected, the first two variations are chorus and the other two are delay. Wait a second. When holding a track button to activate effect, volume button select effects variation. Each effect has 4 variations. If the chorus delay is selected, the first two variations are chorus and the other 2 are delay, right? So like here on this top one, when I hold this and I plus minus the first 2, that's a chorus, that's a chorus, that's a delay, that's a delay. Got it. Now then, press and play if you press and hold the play button, then you get the loop. And then the loop mode, again, it's shown by these LEDs here on the side. And while I'm holding the play to loop, I can use the volume buttons to set the loop division. Then I can also use the rocker to move the loop position along its place in the song. And then if I let go of the play button, the looping is disabled. But if I keep holding it, and again, if I press the function button, it latches it into that loop. When not looping, the function and volume buttons set the loop divider. Oh yeah, right. So like I can preset my loop divider. If I'm here, I can already. So let's listen to the first loop. Here we have the indicator on the side. While I'm pressing the play, I can use plus minus to shorten that. And again, I can use the rocker to move forward in the song in the loop. Or backwards. If I hold the play and hit function, now the loop is locked. And I can hit play to get out of that. And stop again with play. And you know, that nudge, you're basically nudging forward and back. So like imagine you have like you're grabbing a little snippet, like a little snippet of the audio timeline, and you're just like looping that back. So what you're doing is you're scrubbing forwards and you're scrubbing back along the length of the track. Super useful. You'll see like when you want to make like more loops, like more different sounding loops, it's great. You can just like scrub through until you find like a little section that you think sounds good. When using the rocker to reverse or fast forward playback, use the volume buttons to set the playback speed. All right, so let's check that out. So now, instead of this rocker being used for like track forward, like, you know, skip to the next track or go back to the previous track, to go to the next track, now you're in advanced mode, you have to hold down function and then use the rocker. That'll go to the next track. And you can see all the track effects are sticky through track changes. And we'll get into later on like how you clear that out. But maybe for now we'll leave it and we'll get less copyright strikes. So if I'm playing and I just hit the rocker, it's no longer going to skip to the next track. What it's going to do is affect the playback speed. So first of all, if I go forward with the rocker, it's going to go faster, and I can select how fast or slow that is with the plus minus buttons. Or if I go backwards, it's going to reverse playback, and the same thing in terms of speed with plus minus there. So let's see how that sounds. So that's going forward, but slow, right? Speed it up. Again, you got your 4 LEDs here to indicate the speed, like your range that you're on. That sounds good. And the fastest. Slowest speed. And again, if I hit latch, it'll stay at that speed. Or we can go backwards. Slow it down. Faster. Backwards, faster. And again, if I hit the latch, it'll stick. And you see every time I hit the latch, all 4 LEDs blink to indicate that like that setting has been locked in. So now we're playing backwards at the slowest speed. And again, I can still loop in that. And I can still change loop divisions. And I can still lock it in. Solo. Yeah. Rock and roll. So the way you get out of your playback speed, either forward slowing down or faster, or backwards slowing down or faster, is you just go ahead and hit the rocker again, and it'll like unlatch the setting and go back to normal. Let's see, here we are. When holding track or play or rocker, short press function will latch everything. Like it'll latch the effects, it will latch the loop, it'll latch the forward or reverse. And then a short click on function when holding the latched effects button will unlatch the effects on the active track. So holding all the track buttons while clicking on function will remove all the latched effects on the track. So here we have latched effects, right? So let's hold that button. And then I just click. There. And then we're back to normal, right? So like, that's how you clear everything out. Clicking on the function button while soloing one track will also remove, which is what we just did. We soloed each track and I clicked function and it just like cleared everything out. Press play to unlatch a loop and then use the rocker just to unlatch the forward or reverse. When paused, the side LEDs will indicate the battery charge level. So it looks like I'm down 1 LED from doing this demo so far. the device will automatically turn off after a couple of minutes if not playing. I've never experienced that or tested that out. But yeah, let's see if I keep talking, if that's going to happen. So, you know, all in all, like, it seems like a lot of information. I don't know if it seems overwhelming, but like it definitely seems fiddly, right? But in actual practice, it's not that bad. You just kind of remember that like play is your loops, your rocker is your speed forward or back, and then your track buttons are your effects, and you just have latch on every single thing. So I can latch the rocker, I can latch the loops, I can latch the effects, and then you just don't forget that you can like pick each track right when it's playing to put the effects on. So maybe I'll just go ahead and see if I can do a little loop here, and then we'll go ahead into the advanced functions of the rest of the unit. And then I think we'll wrap this up. But first, let's make a little bit of a loop. Here we go. That's super nice. So what I've been doing is like, I've just been finding a loop I like this, and I'll just record it. Like, you know, you can record it into your OB4 loop and save it, or I've just been throwing it into my TP7 when I'm like on the train or the airplane. And I'll just save this as a sample for like a background texture, or like a loop to, you know, layer with a beat or whatever. That's super fun. I'm gonna go ahead and clear that out. So undo the loop. Playback speed, undo that. And then clear out the effects. So I'll solo, click function, and now we're back. Next track. Good times. All right. Next, we're going to check out the Bluetooth and the Pocket Operator Sync. Here we go. Okay, so when the line out is connected, of course, it mutes the internal speaker on the device. And same thing for when the Bluetooth is connected. So let's try to Bluetooth the stem player to the OB4 here. So to get into Bluetooth search mode, you're just going to press plus and minus at the same time. And this doesn't matter if you're in advanced mode or basic mode. You press those at the same time. You'll see on the side the LEDs indicate. That's like a special feature they made that, like, if you do that when it's turned on, then it works. And if it's turned off, then you have to turn it on before you do that. So I just demonstrated that for you. And here we go, pressing the plus minus. And then you can see that this LED indicates it's in search mode. So let's put the Bluetooth here in search mode. So we're search mode on OB4, search mode here on stem player. OB4, searching, this is riveting, I get it. YouTube algorithm, and now we're paired. So if I go ahead and press play, we got Bluetooth through the OB4. I can pump it up. If I want to skip tracks, I'm in advanced mode, hold the function. Yeah. Bluetooth, OB4, pretty sweet. All right, next up, we're going to look at the Pocket Operator Sync as the last step in this overview of the Teenage Engineering stem player. All right, boom, here we go. Now, we were in advanced mode 2. I went ahead and changed it to advanced mode 3. Turns out, who knew, actually if you hold function first and then press play, then you're going to get into that selection much better. It says to hold them at the same time, but seems much more reliable that way. So you can see I used the plus minus buttons on top. We were in 2. I'm going to go to 3, press play to confirm. Now, I took, of course, a line out from the Pocket Operator Sync. I don't know if you can see there's a little icon right there of a pocket operator, actually. And I took the line out to my tonic, to the sync jack on the left side. And right now I have it in sync mode 1, which it should be in sync mode 2. You'll see why. But I left it in sync mode 1 so you can hear the sync. It's wild. This is so cool. So I go ahead and press play on the stem player, and you'll hear the sync signal in the Pocket Operator until I turn it to the correct sync setting. But I left it on for now so you can hear it. So you hear the click. If I turn the stem player off, or the volume down, then you can hear the sync signal to the tonic, which is super sweet. So if I go ahead and I change it to the correct sync setting 2, there I'm on sync setting 2, and then you don't hear that pulse. But it's going into the tonic, telling it the correct BPM. And so I'm just going to use the internal speakers here on the pocket operator and on the stem player just to demonstrate this. I'll turn up the volume here. And we'll bring in some drums. Try another track. So you could really hear the pocket operator change the BPM there when I went to the next track. That's so cool. Let's make a little loop here on the stem player, bring back in the pocket operator one more time and see how those mix together. Seems like magical. Here we go. Make a little loop. Bring it back. Kind of lengthen that loop. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, check out those drums. Rock and roll. Well, you can't say those two weren't in sync. I mean, you can't say it was good, but like they were in time. That's so cool. Let's try one more track. Here we go.
See the light. Gap pulled over, see the brights. What you doing on the street at night? Wonder if they gonna read your rights. 13th Amendment, 3 strikes. Made a left when I should've made a right. Told God last time on life. Told the devil that I'm going on a strike. Told the devil when I see him on sight. I've been working for you my whole life. Told the devil that I'm going on a strike. I've been working for you my whole life. Nothing worse than a hypocrite. Change, he ain't really do.
All right, there's a remix for you. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. Pocket operator sync. I'm sure the MIDI sync would also be super fun. Again, we'll try that later. We get enough subscribers today. So we'll do one final wrap up after this. Thanks for hanging out so long. One more thing to go.
This is the you face and over again. See if
Peace. Now you wanna see if we let you see it 3 apiece. Now you wanna see if
we let you see it 3 apiece. Now you wanna see if we let you see it 3 apiece. Now you wanna see if we let you see it 3 apiece. Now you wanna see if we let you see it 3 apiece. Now you wanna see if we let you see it 3 apiece. Now you wanna see if we let you see it 3 apiece. Now you wanna
Let's do we must but I didn't let's do we must
Say they
Hey, thanks for hanging out, playing with this teenage engineering STEM player. See you in the next video. Who knows what we're going to review? Let's get those subscriber numbers up and make it happen. Thanks for watching. See you next time.